And we are recording. So today we are very, very lucky to have Ahlaam Ali with us. She is a renowned well-being coach, a nutritionist, and recently she also got into hypnotherapy, which she'll explain in a bit what that is all about. But we are extremely lucky that we could have her talk to all the LUM students, to my class, about her experiences in entrepreneurship, in her journey as a nutritionist, a well-being coach, and then her journey into food and beverage in particular. Currently, she is doing some amazing stuff, which we will hear about, and we'll see some photographs, and she'll show us her latest platter of what she's developed. I won't let you know right now. You'll discover that slowly. So welcome, Ahlaam.
Hey guys, how are you?
And of course, Sharik,
Good.
my amazing TA,
Again.
is there with us again, and will also be asking Ahlaam some important questions. So, Ahlaam, should we start with your journey into becoming a well-being coach? How did it take place? What made you do it?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. When I look back, I keep thinking as to how I got to where I am today. But just to backtrack a little, my journey actually started very much like your students, all you people out there. I have an MBA, and at the time that I was doing the MBA, I was like, why the hell am I doing it? It was a bit of a dare. Um, when I was actually told, no, 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 you can't get into an MBA course, you're not smart enough, you just, it was a challenge. So I sat the test and got in, and then I thought, oh, now that I've gotten in, I might as well do it. So I did the MBA, but I was a bit lost. I was like, what the hell am I doing here with accounting and finance and everything? So I was very marketing and creativity oriented. So I had a tough time, but I'm really glad I did it. So it's really good that all the students are doing it, because it sets the basis for uh, whatever you want to do. I mean, it sets the basic business background and the groundwork for whatever you want to build on top of it. So I started with that, with the MBA, like 100 years ago, and then worked in marketing and PR in London, and then again in Dubai for a few years. And then I decided it was all a bit too much. I'm, I couldn't really fit into the corporate box, so to speak. And I think many students, when they're actually going through it, they kind of wonder what they're going to do with this MBA. You may not know, or you may know. So some of us have a lot of clarity, and we know what we're going to do with it. Some of us are just doing it because we kind of fell onto the course and there was nothing else better to do at that time. So whatever your reasons, you're really doing a good thing. So I did all of that, and then I couldn't fit into the corporate box, so to speak. I wasn't a corporate animal. Kind of wanted to do my own thing, didn't want to keep regular timings. So I started venturing out a little, and then moving from London to Dubai, I realized that Dubai gave me a lot of scope for kind of exploring what I really wanted to do. I was always quite sort of fitness and nutrition and well-being oriented. So being in the corporate rat race was kind of taking me away from my real values and my passion. So gradually, I think I was edging my way through the years after getting all of that corporate experience. I was edging all the way into entrepreneurship. Um, and I have to say, it's been a very fascinating journey. But yes, I did the marketing, I did the PR, which gave me a really good grounding again for setting up my own businesses. So that's basically my journey. And then I kind of moved from the corporate into doing Bollywood dancer size, which was the well-being part of it. That's how my journey into well-being started. It was quite interesting because I created something called Power Bhangra, which was Bollywood and dancercise put together. So dancing to Bollywood music for an hour, exercise style, would actually make us lose a lot of weight. So I started that in Dubai about 14 years ago, and it was an absolute hit for the longest time, for like 5 to 7 years, which then led me on to while I was doing all of this dancercise thing, I was actually asked by a lot of people to advise them on nutrition. Now, I didn't have any formal education on nutrition, so I kind of refrained, although I was very tempted to say, you know, leave out the carbs, do this, do that. There's so many fad diets out there. Anyways, I thought best not, and went and got trained as a nutritionist. So please feel free to interrupt at any stage to ask questions, Shireen, Sharek.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, we're completely mesmerized by how it's going. And, please continue.
So,
Okay, and then,
an
yeah,
interesting story of how Ahlaam and I became friends is that on my
yes.
Facebook all the time. This is many years ago. When you get those ads or like suggestions,
Yeah, yeah.
always this Ahlaam Ali, all and saying guaranteed 10 kg weight loss, guaranteed weight loss. But it used to come all the time, all the time. And I was like, who the hell is this Ahlaam Ali and what sort of name is Ahlaam? And how is she guaranteeing 10 kg? And it would say money back. If I don't make you lose, money back and this and that. And
Wow.
everybody, mostly females, are attracting and what and this and that. And then, later I found out that she has an amazing book as well, which we will just show you, but we have to complete the story. So then one day I was at a project of mine. So half the restaurant was closed down and we were doing a design change. And there she was at the restaurant having a brunch, I believe, with her son.
That's right. It was a Friday brunch. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
Friday brunch, and I'm standing there with a scowl, telling workers on the side what to do, and she just goes, "Excuse me, have you thought of IVing her?" And
Before you get into that, I have to tell you something. I have to share something with you. So I'm a really private person. And
Okay.
especially on Fridays, because throughout the week I have to talk to a lot of people. So on Fridays, I refuse to talk to people. I do not connect with people. And my son was with me at the brunch. And he knows that if somebody says hello to me, I'm like, yes, hello. And that's the end of it. However, there was Shireen doing lots of interesting things. And then I thought, maybe I should speak to her about healthy options at this restaurant. That's how we got started.
yeah, so she asked me, "Have you thought about doing healthy concepts over here?" And I said, "Sure." And we just started talking, and then she said, "Come and have a seat." So we just started chatting, and then I asked her name, and she goes, "I'm Ahlaam Ali." And I like almost fell off the chair. I said, "Oh my God, you are that woman!"
You are
And
Ahlaam Ali.
you are, I mean, there's actually a woman in the world because it started sounding like some made up character. And here I am sitting and we started chatting, and then, you showed me the book and we started talking. And then from then on, though, just you would come over, we became great friends. So,
And
Mhm.
I remember the time when the first time we actually met after that. So sorry, just to backtrack a little. So
yeah,
then I went into nutrition along with the Bollywood dancers. I trained as a nutritionist, and
yeah,
that's when my nutrition phase started. And I met Shireen, and then I remember the time I had gone off, you know, regular cow's milk and everything. And I remember she said, "Let's meet up for a coffee." So the first time we meet up for a coffee, I could have sworn that she nearly passed out because I had to say, "I want only almond milk coffee," or "I will only have coconut milk coffee." And she kind of rolled her eyes, turned around, and thought, "What the hell is this?"
yeah.
Anyway,
Very difficult. We do not. So when there's another friend, very close friend of ours, so it's always us three going around, and so we never. It's never about where Tabassum or Shireen want to go. It's always we just like when Ahlaam says, "So where do you guys want to go?" And we just look at her. Why are you asking? Because you have so many issues. When she is giving an order at a restaurant, I mean, you have to see that. I mean, it can't have any oil. It
Oh,
can't
I think
have
you
it can't
spoke
have,
about her once in class.
yeah,
I think you were talking about Lal's and you got a special catering done, if
uh,
I'm connecting the right person. This
yeah.
was
So
a long time ago.
absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
I think I'm every caterer's nightmare and every
Yeah.
restaurant manager's nightmare because I'm like, I can't have garlic, I can't have chilies, I can't have soy sauce, I can't have ginger, I can't have milk, I can't have gluten. And they're kind of looking at me and
Wow.
thinking, please go home now.
yes, yes, yeah.
I'm guessing you're not a big fan of
Your
Asian food.
lunchbox with you. Bring your lunchbox with you.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, and
Yeah,
when I
good message.
actually go out, my son says, "Mom, here's a bowl of something for you," and it's ice. He says, "That's what you can eat." But no, that's an exaggeration. I love food, but I need it to be really clean, wholesome,
Mhm.
and sourced from a very responsible, very
Reliable.
ethical place.
Right.
And it just has to be organic. It has to be clean.
So
So
going to
yes, I am difficult.
going to a movie, the first time I went on a movie, they didn't get nachos or popcorn. I, they just had their big water bottles and no
Oh
nachos.
God.
That's
So
true.
The
I
whole
didn't
That's
bucket of
true.
popcorn makes
I'm
up like half the
like,
movie for me.
no nachos and popcorn, okay, and big bottles of
And
water.
then yes, and then gradually Shireen got eating those things. She would buy a huge bucket, and I'd be like, "Go sit over there. Don't sit with us."
Maybe you were taking some also. So anyway, so yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It was very interesting for me to become, such because we used to hang out all the time when I was living in Dubai. To become such good friends with a nutritionist. So I've been somebody who eats healthy and all, but being around her, it was an awakening. You would constantly hear of good things that one should eat and what one shouldn't eat and how something, but in a positive way. It wasn't like, why you do? I was making fun of her earlier when I said that she would be like, oh, you had 4 coffees. But you have to exaggerate a bit when you're making, you have to make fun of your friend. It was all the time, it was an amazing, positive learning. It was never that, if you don't do this, and no, nothing like that. I mean, she's a coach. She makes you feel good about yourself. And if I've seen her with people with diabetes, uh, with so many diseases, and how she has always dealt with them. It's incredible. It's that
Yeah.
psychology of making someone feel good about themselves and positive, and making them eat healthy and exercise. So
Yeah. I mean, as they say, food can be your medicine or it can be your poison.
yeah, yeah,
So
Right.
as Socrates said, so basically I focus on the fact that everything you eat. So my analogy to my people, my members and my friends is your body is like a Rolls Royce. Are you going to treat it with respect? Would you put the highest quality fuel into it, or would you put diesel into it? It's a simple analogy, but whatever you want your body to be is what you want to feed it, right? You wouldn't put shit calories into, or
yeah.
really bad sort of fuel into a beautiful car. So why would you put it into your body?
Yes.
So
With that,
yeah, so that's my analogy.
I'm going to share what you had earlier on today. And, Sharik, I told you should have done this sharing bit. But see, is it on? Yeah.
Okay, we've got
Yeah,
it.
we've
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
So this is Ahlaam's breakfast. So what did you have here?
Wow.
Okay, so this is a balanced breakfast where I've got gluten-free toast. I've got some butter on it. That's the gluten-free toast on the side. Then I've got some salmon, smoked salmon. I've got spinach. I've got hazelnuts, and I've got raspberries. So this is what I call a balanced meal. So I've got the carbs, I've got the proteins, I've got all the macros, the carbs, the proteins, the fat, the vegetables, which is the fiber, the fat again in the hazelnut, and then the fiber, some more fiber and vitamins from raspberries. So I've got everything covered, and this is how I start my day. Sometimes I add on a smoothie, but the smoothie I will have about 10 to 20 minutes before the meal. And the smoothie is supposed to really alkalize your stomach. The minute you alkalize your body, yeah, that's a nice close-up actually. This just makes me want to eat more of this, by the way.
Yeah.
So everything you eat will either alkalize or may acidify your body. If you alkalize your body, you have less inflammation, tumors, aches and pains, arthritis, cancers, all of that. And if you eat very acidic, like red meat and some coffee and a lot of tea and alcohol and all of that, what happens is your body actually acidifies a lot, and then it kind of forms tumors and inflammation. So the trick is to keep your inflammation to a minimum by eating a lot of fresh fruits, vegetables, omegas, and a lot of gluten-free, dairy-free options.
Good.
Wow.
Great. And I shall go on, Ahlaam, and show them your book now.
Okay, yes.
You've got a copy with you as well to hold it up.
I have
Give
indeed.
that smile,
Right.
that big smile that one is supposed to give with a, yeah, yay! Yes.
That rather scary smile, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the title says a lot, but why don't you tell us more about it? I'd like to know more.
You know, Ahlaam, I love the fact that it wasn't like this typical, you know, scary looking book where how to lose, just how to lose, you know, those kind of, and then weight loss,
Yeah,
you know, and bold. It was, you know, you feel good. It's light. Hottie's Handbook.
yeah,
And then, you know, you
Yes.
have the Hottie in those boots. So there's that fun element to the cover. I really liked the cover. So tell us
yes.
how you, the conception of the book, uh, everything behind it.
Okay, so having done the nutrition course, what I felt was, and having worked with a lot of people over the years, about 4 years ago, I felt that everything that I've developed, all the critical mass in my head, needed to be disseminated to a lot more people. Not everybody could be on my course if they're living in the UK, US, Pakistan, wherever. So I decided to write this book. Now, it had been brewing in my head for a couple of years, and I used to kind of make notes and, you know, put down my thoughts and everything. And then finally, I decided about 4 years ago to actually just go to Thailand for a month and write the book. So I can only write in Thailand, by the way. I love
Uh-huh.
nature. I love the energy that I get from the greenery and, you know, the fresh air, the sea, the sand, all of that. So I took a whole month off and wrote the book, just because I wanted to motivate and inspire and get my message across and my weight loss philosophies to a wider range of people. It was important for me to be able to write down the 4 philosophies. So the book consists of 4 philosophies that have helped to keep me fit and have helped thousands and thousands to lose the weight, lose the inflammation. I had a 60-year-old lady who had actually, she couldn't walk for more than 5 minutes without stopping, without being breathless, and without a stick. She had to sit down, actually. She came onto my program for 20 weeks. At the end of the 20 weeks, she had lost 20 kilos. So whatever I promised, the 10 and 10 is actually true. It wasn't just what
I,
you saw on
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
Exactly.
How,
So
yeah, to actually,
she lost
uh, yeah.
she lost the 20 kilos, and she lost all the inflammation. So her arthritis was under control. Her diabetes was under control. She went for Hajj
Wow.
on her own
Oh.
with a group. And she basically came back and she says, Ahlaam, thank you so much. You changed my life. I've changed my way of eating. It's a lifestyle change. So you know how some of us actually go on diets for fitting into size 0 jeans, or for a wedding, or for getting that summer body, you know. Uh, Unfortunately, all the fad diets, you may go on them, they may help you lose weight short term, but then long term, it's got to be a lifestyle change. And following the Hajj, she actually went to Canada for her daughter-in-law's delivery. And she could do all of this because she changed her lifestyle and the way she ate. All of that food became her medicine, right? So,
Yeah.
and she realized all this time we've been poisoning ourselves with eating processed foods and, you know, fast food and all of that. We cleared it, and believe it or not, she's as good as new. Even today, she's 65 years old. So all of that information that has benefited my members, I wanted to put it in the book. And then the book is on Amazon at the moment, and people can order it. And it's just,
I saw it at the Virgin store in Dubai.
that's right. Yes, yes. A few of the other bookstores as well. And then the best part is when my son was actually out with his friends one day, a very proud moment. And he sent me a picture and he goes, Mom, your books are all over the place in Virgin and Borders. And I'm like, ooh, That feels really good. Thank you. So it's when your son actually, or when your child actually says, Mom, really, this is really cool. You feel like you've really done something. And I wanted to leave something behind. My main concern is, if God forbid, if I were to die tomorrow, what have I left as a legacy for people to benefit from ongoing once I'm gone? So that is not being morbid, but being very realistic. What are you leaving? What are you creating, first of all? Whether it's a business or a lifestyle or a concept, much like all the creative people around you and yourself, you would think, what am I leaving behind as a sign, as my legacy? People will remember me because, what is it?
What we always discuss is
That is,
making a difference.
yeah.
Making a difference
Yes,
in our environment,
Mhm.
with the people, whoever we can reach, always touching people, making a difference in their lives. There's nothing more
exactly.
gratifying than that.
No, but that is such a
You
beautiful
said
way to
it.
go about things, to have all that knowledge and then to disseminate it and share it with the world. I think there's nothing better to, there's no better way to go about it.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
So
and
I
like
think we
Shireen said,
should we
it's
should
very good.
order a book too, especially me,
she's going to write.
and Ma'am Shireen.
She's going to write. Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah,
What did
both
you?
of us need
I
to order the book because we're big fans of junk food. So yeah, so
So,
I need to make
Shadi, the
some
best
serious
part is,
lifestyle changes.
But
yeah,
see,
and
can
yeah,
I interject over here? The thing is also, which I tell you in my lectures and class, that there is this entire perception of health food being grabby to eat, not fun.
exactly,
I say no. So even when in the concepts that they do, they want to create a healthy concept, which some of my students have in the past semesters done a health food restaurant. I say your market
amazing,
is not only people who are sick or who want to lose weight or who want to be healthy. It should be across the board. People who eat junk food
exactly,
should also want to come there because it has to taste delicious. And that
exactly,
food, I have tasted so much of her food. Nutrition doesn't mean blah. It's like, and,
exactly.
and you will see in the photographs that you see in the slides that will follow
I
how
know, yeah.
delicious it can all be. It does not have to be, all of a sudden getting depressed about being, eating nutrition stuff. So I will just go back to the slide and we shall,
Yeah.
oops, see here. Okay. And now,
And
sorry?
yeah, can I say at this stage that we have 40 really quick and easy, healthy recipes in there that actually taste good, look good, and they are very balanced. So it's perfect for people who have very little time and actually want to rustle up the food. So my son at Cambridge, actually, he's stuck, he's isolated right now. He actually uses the book to rustle up very quick meals. So it's for busy people, basically. Busy people who want to eat healthy.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah,
great.
excellent. So,
And yes, this is my promise. I will transform you.
oh yes,
I
so
will take you up on that promise.
That's a deal.
yeah, so this is a part of Ahlaam's life when she started a new business called Power Lounge, and it was an amazing a spa. And we took these photographs at around that time, and she was all about transforming people's lives. And I was the photographer. She took my photograph. I thought
Yes.
we'll show the photographer as well. So
What I love about Shireen is that she'll get into all sorts of spaces, flat on the floor, hanging off the ceiling, under chairs. She got some of the best photographs in there.
I can imagine her doing just that.
yeah, yeah. So Ahlaam, tell us about,
Really
as an
artsy.
And her
entrepreneur.
Loved
job. I
working
can
with you,
imagine
Shireen.
her doing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Am I like, is my thing freezing or are you guys, how's it, how's the,
Yes. Tell me.
okay. So tell us about Power Lounge.
It's fine now.
Okay. So tell us about Power Lounge.
Okay, so Power Lounge, basically what happened was over the years, I had been doing the Bollywood dancer size, trained the people to do the program in different parts of Dubai. Then there was a pandemic. the nutrition came in, and then we were doing, healthy cooking demos, etc., and getting people to, we were building a very healthy community. So it made sense for us to put together a space where, it would all come together. So health, nutrition, exercise, training, um, kids being trained as well. So it worked out really well. So it all kind of culminated in one space, which was the Power Lounge. It was a weight loss, well-being spa. So we had a lot of weight loss programs in there. We had various exercise sessions, Zumba, Bollywood dancercise. We had yoga for kids. We had cooking sessions for kids. So it was great while it lasted. It lasted about 4 years. Loved doing that. And then the economy changed. So we had to be really lean and agile. And all of you entrepreneurs will actually realize the secret of being successful in any business is to be agile. I mean, right now, what we're going through is a typical example of how businesses completely, suddenly need to think how to be agile, how to suddenly cut cost, how to deal with staffing, how to deal with sudden loss of revenues. How do you actually work in a crisis? So that's what we had to do when the 2015 crisis hit. That's when I had to go really lean. And we took out the bits that were the biggest revenue generators, which was the power jars, and focused on that. So we got rid of the fixed cost of the power lounge. So while it lasted, it was great. We had, excuse me, we had significant fixed cost overheads, which were fine while the economy was good. But then again, like I said, once the economy collapsed, we had to take out the most important cash cows, so to speak. I mean, you'll all learn this during your MBA. They're the cash cows. You take them out and work with them in a very lean, agile way, which is what we did with Power Jars. That did really well as well, because we outsourced it to a kitchen, and then the kitchen would actually put my recipes together. Now, how did I develop these recipes? That was the fun part. They were all vegan, unprocessed. So when we say vegan, there's also something that we need to keep in mind. Yes, that's the one. So we need to keep in mind there's vegan and there's plant-based, and then there's vegetarian. I chose to be plant-based. Vegan can be a little too extreme. Plant-based is where you take all natural whole foods, fresh, unprocessed, and leave out all animal products. Simple, as simple as that. So our plant-based jars looked exactly like this. We had the first one on the left, we had the snack jar, then we had the breakfast jar, then we had the beautiful lunch salad, which could be anything. We had like 100 recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then dinner was, as you can see over here, it was kale and with a beautiful sauce with some brown rice at the bottom. So we used to make sure that each meal would be well balanced with carbs, proteins, the right fats, all the nutrients have to be present in all of the meals. And everybody who was on the program actually lost 10 kilos in 10 weeks. So even with our jars, we promised the results. As long as you can exercise, tell me.
And they were delicious because
yeah, they look so great. I mean,
when
yeah,
make them, and then because friends would get to taste, and we were the first to try. Awesome. And one could think, oh, okay, this jar, all these veggies, you would actually really fill up, and you would fill up without feeling lazy. For after,
exactly.
always after lunch, working is so difficult. You just feel like sleeping. Really,
I can relate.
Yes,
After every meal.
Yes,
yeah, but
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, but these you would feel energetic. Uh,
Yes.
they were lovely. I
Because
love them.
I know, I remember you would come home and I'd be like, here's this one or this one. Which one would you like? And you'd be like, both.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were
ma'am, I think
actually
we should
voted.
end the
Sorry.
session here and start a new one.
So what
We
Yeah.
ran out of time.
what we should do is that we will end the session now, and in the next session we will talk more about the jars, and then towards your delicious secrets.
continue from
I
there.
should
Yeah.
stop
Sounds good.
recording now. I will